have to put on the red light. 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 You don't have to put on the red light. Say, put on the red light. I put on the red light. Put on the red light.
Hey everybody, it's the top of the hour, but that just means that you've got a little bit more time to get yourself ready for the show. So grab yourself something to drink, get something to snack on, get all comfy cozy, because the Suzette Veneti show will be starting in about 2.5 minutes. So maybe you want to share that link out with your friends and folk who aren't already in the street. See you in a couple.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You change your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the cream of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all through the eye. Love the tiger. Face to face, out in the heat. Hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack the odds till we take to the street. For we kill with the skill to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the cream of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all through the eye of the tiger. Rising up straight to the top.
Welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hi everybody, it's 5:03 on February 14th, Valentine's Day. So if you were going to try to ask me out on a date before today, you're late. Sorry. But good news, I'm here hosting the show with you. And it's a great show. We have a relationship special coming tonight. So buckle in, share it with your friends, send the link, get a good drink, and let's start the show. I'm going to be brief up top because I want to get to this show. So just going to read some news here. Some hackers tried to hack a water supply. That's probably not good. You know, I don't know. Somewhere there's a joke about hacking and water and electricity not mixing. Anyway, the Gorilla Glue hair lady, girl, you knew you weren't supposed to do it. Don't sue them. Let's see, where are we? Morgan Wallen used a racial slur and his album sales went up. That's terrible. The NBA, the Dallas Mavericks didn't play the national anthem for 13 games and nobody noticed, but then when they noticed, oh boy, then they had a problem, and now they want it to be played even though it shouldn't be played. Sorry, that's just my opinion, not a joke. Larry Flynt died. A lot of people are sad about that. A 100-year-old Nazi was charged with like couple 100,000 murders. Yes, he deserves it. Take those murder charges. And then a condom was found in the wallet in Antarctica, where a man lost his wallet in 1946, but the condom was still good. So, wallets and condoms, they work. Okay, actually, they don't. Don't do that. They don't work because the body heat. Again, no jokes today. We're just going to get going with the show. So joining me is going to be one of my favorite people, one of my favorite contributors. He always has the tea steeping on the stove, and then I come with the cup and I say, "What's the tea?" And then he tells me the tea. I hope you guys are ready. We're going to welcome to the show. Sorry, long day, couple drinks. We're going to welcome to the show my good friend Clifton Ellison.
Hey, Suzette, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
You know, we are sticking together like Gorilla Glue.
I'm like, girl, why would you? I love your background, but why would you do that? Like, if you were her, like, she knew better.
Well, clearly I'm not the hair expert because, you know, this long 47 inches on my head takes a lot of skill to take care of, though. But I guess there is a hair product actually called Gorilla Glue as well, but the bottle doesn't look like this bottle right next to me. Tessica Brown, bless her heart, she has been an internet sensation for about 2 weeks. She got verified now on Instagram. She had a GoFundMe.
I'm sorry, I was just mad that she got verified. Go on.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, if Cash Me Outside Girl can get verified, and if all these other Octomom and everybody else can get verified, let's just get verified too. You know, like, if we're gonna do it for them, do it for her. She didn't hurt nobody but herself. You know.
True.
But she found a doctor that was able to do the procedure for her for free. Got it taken care of. It's out of her hair now, and actually, she donated the $20,000 that she got off of GoFundMe to basically for people that have issues either with like cancer treatments, things like that, with their hair is falling out, or issues with their hair, to help them get the hair treatment that they need. So I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm not mad at it. So
okay, I take back my incredulity. I am not mad at her.
Yeah.
I mean, she still made a dumb mistake, but she paid.
But you know,
she paid the kindness forward.
Age of turning lemons into lemonade, and she turned that lemon into a big old glass of lemonade in 1 week. So I'm not mad at it. So
you're right.
Get yours.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of too little, too late, I'm talking like, where were you in 2004?
Where was I?
In
college.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, as my mom would say, an apology. Apology is the slang term for apology when you're just saying sorry because you got caught, but you're not really saying sorry because you actually mean it. Because if you actually meant it, you would have said sorry in 2004. Not trying to plug Ruben Studdard's song, I'm sorry, 2004. I'm talking about Mr. Justin Timberlake with that half-assed iOS press release apology because the Britney fans are coming for him on Instagram for comments that he kind of got away with about how many years ago was that now? 17 years ago? With the titty was 17 years ago, but the breakup with Britney, God, that was 19 years ago. So you mean to tell me that your ass done profited off of making 2 songs dogging this girl out and everything like that. And then you single-handedly ruined Janet Jackson's career. Don't apologize to her. You apologize to the NFL and all them. And then it takes the Britney Spears documentary for you to finally open up your phone or have your agent open up the phone and type that whole apology, lumping them both together. Granted, and I'm a big Britney fan, but granted, her issues are more of a bigger thing than just Justin. But Janet, you ruined her career for 6 years, and it took Janet's brother dying in 2009 for her videos to get played on MTV again. For her, because remember there was a period of time when her stuff was not getting played on the radio because Lea Moonves, who is actually, he got let go from CBS, but he's married to Julie Chen from Big Brother, which was a big old controversy with him because of whole sexual harassment and everything else like that. But that's a whole nother episode because that cup of tea it's too big and too hot to spill right now with that. But yeah, he blacklisted her off of the radio stations. You wouldn't see her on anything. It was bad. And to watch somebody go through all that and you just gonna do a little Instagram apology 17 years later? I'm gonna need a little bit more from you. But hey, I'm just happy you finally acknowledged it. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm sorry, I was stuck wondering if you meant the pun that he single-handedly ruined Janet's career.
Oh, yeah,
That's all. I mean, I was listening.
It came out of my mouth, and I didn't realize it until I said it. But yeah,
I was listening to everything you said, but I kept going back to that, and I was like, "Did he mean that?" Because that's funny. Because you're funny, so I was like, "Oh, he might have." I think it's a tough situation. It's obviously it's easier to be a guy in the world than it is to be a woman.
It is, and
anyone that doesn't believe that is a Trump supporter, or about as smart as a Trump supporter. So I think, did he profit off of her? Yes, absolutely. Could he have done more along the way? Yes and no. You know what? I actually am going to say this is a great episode for you to ask me that question because, as you know, today is the relationship special. So I will ask our in-house relationship experts what they think about that. Because if you break up with someone, right, where is your obligation to step up and defend them? Because there's bitter feelings, right? So he felt bitter about, and whose fault was it? I don't know, but
the thing about it is when we break up, we may talk shit to our friends. We may post the stupid thing on Facebook because, I got out of a 6-year relationship last year and it was just time. It was just time. It wasn't anything nasty or anything like that. Sometimes some shit just don't work out. But I'm not going to go on the internet blasting him or go on radio interviews blasting him and saying all types of disrespectful things and also too, it shows how men can get away with things because basically he literally went on multiple radio stations talking about her giving him fellatio and things like that and joking about it. And I look back at it now with 2021 vision, 35-year-old me, as opposed to back then I was fighting with the girls on TRL over Britney and Christina and just teenage fandom. But you look back at it now with adult eyes, you're just like, that was very low of you. Very, very low of you. And it just shows our culture as a whole of how we will villainize and victimize women, but then prop the men up hey, you're the man. Here you go. Here's your multiple hit singles bashing this girl. And then here's your tours and here's everything else. But then we're basically treating her like she's the high school scallywag. It was just so much. But, you know, karma don't come today. Karma may not come tomorrow, though. But do you remember his last album? Exactly.
Wasn't it something about being in a forest or?
Yeah, it was. Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? Now he has a chance to really. He looks stupid, right? So he has a chance to kind of control this, and he can do something now to help her and shed light on her situation and help people understand, you know, what she's been. I don't know exactly what he knows.
Her situation is so complex, and you know, I'm a huge fan of both the ladies, but the Britney situation, it's weird because like even I feel weird talking about it because we all don't know. It's so many layers of factors and everything else. Like I didn't even know what a conservatorship was until I saw her in it, and I was just like, whoa. But that part is just like, and then all the hearsay and the conspiracies, everything like that. I just want her to just be happy and be free and be able to tell her own story, because even if you don't believe it or not, it still speaks volumes that she's not allowed to tell us herself, regardless of what it is. And so,
absolutely, I think it's wild, and I think eventually she'll be able to talk for herself. But you're right, it is like a really weird layered onion of like stage dadship. Greedy.
And then Janet, I think, you know, she's gonna be all right though. But Mr. Timberlake, baby boy, you got some explaining to do. You got a lot of kissing ass and apologizing to do. But that shit, that little on the notes pad shit on Instagram, no, that's something that you do if you fucked up on Thursday and you posted on Saturday. But it's been about 17 years and you done did a whole lot.
Do we? How responsible is the public? How culpable is
the public
is the public for?
Because we ate that shit up like ice cream.
Well, I'm saying especially for Janet, like we, you know, and MTV, and MTV, like Justin didn't control everything, you know. I'm not being a Justin apologist, but I'm just saying like it took a lot of people to shut down Janet Jackson.
It took CBS, Viacom, MTV, the FCC, all of that. It's just a fucking nipple. Like, you act like she was touching herself on stage or, you know, performing sexual acts on it. It was just a damn nipple, y'all. I see worse on Instagram every day. Like,
no, we just had worse in the White House. So,
girl, but I would say this: doesn't it feel good to be able to just talk about celebrity gossip without having that dread of opening up Twitter and seeing some fuck shit happening from the White House?
Yes, it's lovely.
It is just lovely. I know they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of cleaning up to do, but it is just nice to just be able to go to sleep and not worry about it. Like you have like faith, like, okay, they're working on it. We about to get up out of here. And we'll be all back to kikiing and having full dance floors and drag shows and everything else. And we'll get there. But it is just a wonderful feeling. But have you been keeping up with the Mandalorian drama?
Oh, with Gina Carano?
And now she's about to have a show or something with Ben Shapiro. And I'm just like, girl.
Well, I always stand Italians on this show, but not her. Especially if she's going to do something with Ben Shapiro. Bye.
How do you fumble a bag? Like, a Disney check is a check for life.
Oh, talk to Letitia Wright. There's a great example right there of somebody who wasn't even conservative, just a crazy anti-vaxxer. And, like, I think she altered her career. I think she's still lucky she has one. But, yeah, don't fuck the Disney bag.
Yeah, no.
Get your bag, then be crazy.
That is a check for life. For life. And I don't know, like if I ever got famous, I would just be like, here's my phone. Your job is to tweet when I got projects or give my fans shout outs, things like that. That's it. I'm staying out of all the mess. But it's a weird double-edged sword, because if you do that, then people say, oh, they're not paying attention to the issues and da-da-da. But then, like, why do we need to know what Roseanne Barr thinks about politics? Why do we need to know what Tim Allen thinks about, like, it's just.
Well, I can tell you why their political opinions come up. It's because the Republicans don't have anybody, Like, as soon as LeBron speaks up, or George Clooney, or who's a musician that really is vocal about their Pink,
Pink, yeah.
Anytime any one of those celebrities speaks up, Republicans, conservatives, whatever they are nowadays, they look for somebody equivalent. And unfortunately, the equivalent to George Clooney is Tim Allen. They don't have anybody better. And the equivalent to Pink is, the 73rd regional flute band from West Kentucky. Like, they don't have. Our bench is deep when it comes to liberal people, progressive people who believe in humanity and good stuff. We have a really deep bench, and they don't even have first stringers, not even one. So
no, very, very C and D, and I was popular in Japan in the 80s type,
They had Scott Baio giving openings, so in 2020 they had Scott Baio, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Trash. Well, anyways, unlike Gorilla Glue, I do have to get going.
please stick around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clifton, for being here. You missed a good brunch, but we'll run it back for you when you come back.
I have personal tea I have to tell you about. Let's just say apartment hunting in a pandemic is a bitch. And if you are renting out properties, respond to the fucking emails. Girl.
No,
that's all.
I'm pointing at the people that need to respond. I'm saying respond to emails. Also, I don't respond to emails, but other people should respond to emails.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to rent a room, girl. But
right,
yeah,
I'm not renting a room. If I was renting a room and didn't respond to emails, why am I renting the room?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
My search, though, but thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Love you. I'll see you. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, Bees and Booze, that was Clifton Ellison. His information was below him. You can send him some coin. You can give him a follow. It would be a fun time for you to do either. Also, right above my cute little head, and it is a cute little head today, is the information for Stab Comedy Theater. So send them some coin. Give them a follow. We're still in a pandemic. So maybe send some money to Stab. Put your mask on. Let's get out of this pandemic in that order. Okay, cool. With that, we're going to go to the relationship segment. Oh, no, we're going to go with David Shapiro? Okay. Sorry. We have a Shapiro also. He's not conservative like Ben Shapiro. We're going to go David Shapiro, and then we're going to get to the relationship expert, because David Shapiro is not one of those. So, David, are you there? Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm okay. Thank you so much for asking. Sorry I missed last week. I just didn't have anything to say. And Super Bowl, so
never do.
Super Bowl, Suzette. Super Bowl, Suzette. Sorry. I just don't like you. Super Bowl amounts.
I was actually glad you were here.
I don't really care who's in the game. I just wanted to watch. So, sorry. Anyway, I'm back this week, and
Welcome.
Thank you for letting me come back. I just wanted to, I know you're doing a dating episode today, so I thought I would ask a question, if that's all right. Cool. So, I don't like being alone. I don't like being lonely. I like being in a relationship. I think I'm happier when I'm with somebody, supporting somebody, somebody supporting me. That's sort of like I'm, I like being in a relationship, right?
Mhm.
I don't like being alone. But here's the thing. I don't want to date. So that's my question. I don't want to be alone, but I don't want to date. And the reason is, in case it matters, I suck at dating. I think I'm a good boyfriend or husband. I think my ex-girlfriends and ex-wife would disagree.
They would.
But I think I'm decent, good. So, yeah. Anyway, but I don't think I'm good at, like, dating. Like, the whole... Like, we talked about my red flags, right? So I don't think that's gonna... I don't know how to do that. How do you get to a relationship with... And, I mean, to be fair, right? Because people are gonna be like, this is a dumb question. Of course you have to date to go and be in a relationship. You don't, actually. The 2 relationships I've had in my adult life, both of them came from deep, true, good friendships. So there was no dating. It was just friendship for an extended period of time. In one case was a year. Another case was 5 months. And then, like, that was the on-ramp to dating. And then dating was able to start at, like, 80 miles an hour. You know what? Just in case anyone's watching and is like, that's not the speed limit, David. Dating was able to start at 65 miles an hour with highway speeds. So, you know, I think that was good. I think that worked for me. But it also leaves me with a severe lack of dating experience. I've never gone on a date ever, actually. Not with someone who was already my girlfriend or wife. Sure, we've gone on dates, but like I've never gone on a date with somebody that I wasn't in a relationship with. And I don't want to say it terrifies me, because like I can get through. I'm an actor, right? Like I've been in way more awkward situations. But I don't want to do it. So that's my question. My question is, how do I get into a relationship without dating? Because I'm gonna fail if I go on. That's my thank you so much to you and to Chelsea and to Heather for hearing my question. Long-time contributor, first-time question asker. So Suzette, have a great day, and I'll stay on the line to hear my question.
Okay, you don't
radio humor. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's not a radio show. Okay, well, David asked a question, and we will with that question, we'll segue into our relationship experts. And if they want to answer that stupid question, they can. And if they don't want to, it doesn't matter. He's not going to get a date. So please, Bees and Booze, Peers and Queers, join me in welcoming to the show one of my regular contributors and another person that's been on the show, her best friend. Please welcome to the show Chelsea Bearce and Heather Weber. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Oh, you're the business one today, huh?
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. I just did a live show, so I'm feeling very, very, very good.
Okay.
Fired up.
I'm fired up, yeah. Because when I do live comedy, I'm very aggressive.
Yes.
I'm told.
Yes.
I mean, and in general.
Rude.
More so doing comedy.
Yeah, I'm on fire right now.
Okay.
And that was a really dumb fucking question, by the way.
Thank you.
But I have an answer.
Oh.
Yeah, Heather has an answer for it.
Okay, what's the answer?
I think you should get a cat.
Okay. I will tell him that I think he is a cat, because like he's just a moody, whiny crybaby, and that's what I think of cats. But
That's a cat.
yeah. Pass that along, and maybe give him a saucer of milk, which I know you're not supposed to give to cats, but if he chokes, I wouldn't mind.
There
Fair
you
enough.
go. Mhm.
Does he get a litter box?
Oh, look, I don't like him enough to care. If he that's his business.
I mean, you don't want shit everywhere, though.
Yeah, well, I don't live with him. Okay. Welcome to the show, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me on Valentine's Day.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Do you have an answer to Clifton's question, by the way? Where's the boundary of standing up for an ex if you're still bitter with the ex?
I mean, if you're still bitter with them, then fuck them.
Even if it's gonna
I think it depends also how the relationship was, how it ended.
Yeah.
You know, like if it ended and it was hostile, you know, like then standing up for that person is probably low on the priority list. But I feel like if you guys were, you know, adults about it, you guys left on good terms, you know, I wish you well, you know, like we're good people, we just don't fit well together.
Yeah.
Then great. If you know, someone fucks with you, then I will stand by you for sure, because I still see you in a good light, you know, it's just that we didn't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a mature thing. Yeah. You're a mature person. If only Justin Timberlake was.
That's a comparison I never heard.
Yeah, I've never heard that comparison.
Oh, really? I think every time I hear his songs, I think Chelsea.
Okay, all right.
Which songs?
No, I don't know if I want to know this.
I don't know. I just want to see which one she says. I was like, this is a fun thread. Let's pull it and see where it goes.
No, the sweater is unraveled. Next question.
That's Weezer, ma'am. Okay. Next question is from Katana Ray. She's a drag queen. She was here last week. Her question is a great one.
Okay.
If you're a performer and you're dating somebody, how should you feel? And I'll phrase this the other way. I mean, I don't need to for you, Heather, but I'll. So if there's a performer and they're dating someone, and the performer after the show is meeting people, just random people that walk up and say like, "Oh, you perform great. You were so funny," or you know, in David Shapiro's case, "Oh, you were in the show too." How does the partner of the performer, how should they feel if they're not introduced to those random people? Obviously, I'm biased.
Okay, first, we need to preface something here very quickly. Okay? If you cannot date someone who is an entertainer or a performer in any sense of the word if you have jealousy issues. If you are not secure in yourself, if you do not have self-worth or a strong self-esteem, and you have jealousy issues to any degree, sit this one out. Like, you go date like an attorney or like a tax person, a dentist, people who aren't in the public eye, because that's the base, like the base of performing. In any sense of the word, you're going to be dealing with the general public. Yeah. And if your partner is not okay with that, there's going to be issues from the fucking get.
Mm-hmm. For me personally, I prefer it when he doesn't introduce me, because that's just opening up a whole, like, you don't want to go there, because then you're getting harassed after the show.
We should also say who you are. Like, this is a point of view from me, who's a stand-up comic, and Heather's husband is a stand-up comic, so she's seeing it from the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if
because there's plenty of times I've gotten harassed and people come up to me, is he this funny at home? And just like quote back jokes and everything. And I'm just like, ugh. I like to be in the corner having my drink and just being left alone.
So I was just going to mention, so your husband is Miles. He's been on this show. So if anyone watches, and Chelsea, this is true. People have told me they watch every show. So if people have watched every show, they've seen Miles a couple times. They've probably seen Heather at this point. But also, if they watch your show, Chelsea, who wrote this shit, they'll catch Miles. So he is a very accomplished stand-up comic, a very accomplished performer. And so, but I think that's a lot of credit goes to you, Heather, for not wanting that attention. I think, Chelsea, how do you feel now if you're the performer and somebody is not Heather, they're the opposite, and they want the attention? How do you handle that?
Oh, no, I've been there for sure. I've definitely been there. And I've had, this is why I'm single. A lot of guys, when they see me on stage, they see me in a glorified light, and it's like, oh, I want that. That's what I want. But then when they come to shows with me and they see the real side of it, you know, and I have to schmooze with people afterwards. I have to sell merch. I have to take pictures, you know, stuff like that, which I love doing. I love doing this because I enjoy entertaining people. And when they want to come up to me afterwards and talk about how much they like the show, that just fills my cup. Like that is everything to me. But they quickly become insecure because they're not getting all of my attention. And that's when it's a problem. So if I don't introduce my significant other to a fan, like I wouldn't do that, because right now, this is not about you, you know, and I feel like that would take away from what we're actually supposed to be doing right now, which is further promoting me because of what I just did on stage. And right now it doesn't have to do with my personal life. They don't need to know about you. You know, a lot of times they will come up to Heather though. Like I've seen this happen because Miles does include her in his comedy. You know, like Miles and I are very honest comics where we talk about what's going on in our day-to-day life and things that we do and experiences we've had. And that has to do with Heather. You know, like he's gonna talk about his wife. And so that's when people see her after hearing those stories, that's when she becomes, oh, you're real. Like, this is exciting. Was that really happen? Did that really happen? So that's when it becomes real to them.
Yeah.
You know, and after a show, it's weird putting it in this perspective, but after a show, after seeing someone on stage who's made you laugh and taken you on this journey, and then you can see them and you can like take a picture with them. Before COVID, you could shake their hand and like, you know, hug them or whatever. And it was like seeing a celebrity. It was like, you know, if you watch TV and it's like, oh my God, they're real. They're right here. You know, like it's exciting, you know? So it's really hard because that question is rooted in jealousy. And if you're jealous, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're not missing out on much, you know, because Miles would talk about me. I used to fight and he'd talk about me on stage. And if people saw me, they'd come up, they'd like touch my arms to like feel muscles and stuff. Like it was really uncomfortable. And people think that because they know Miles and they heard about me, they know me and they'll come up and hug me and stuff. And I have a bubble. So you're not missing out on much, I promise you.
Right. Yeah. And it needs to be one of those things where if you are the significant other, just bask in this, you know, like take a step back, let them be on this pedestal right now, because if you show them how supportive you are like that, that's just going to strengthen the relationship that you two have. That's it's going to show them that you are being supportive. You're not being pushy. You're not being needy. You're not being just like, you don't do that. Take this time to take pictures of your significant other giving an autograph. Take a picture of that. That's something that I would love to, you know, if my significant other was like, I'm really proud of you. You sold a lot of stuff, you know, or something. That to me is more important than this fucking Sally from Tennessee knowing what your fucking name is. Like, she doesn't need to know that.
And
you know?
I want to echo what you said earlier, because I'm the same as you. I love meeting Sally from Tennessee. Like it is a necessity to what we do as performers.
Right, of course.
We want to meet these people, but we do want some separation as performers between our personal life and our stage life. Even if we talk about our personal life on stage, we still it's like sending a postcard to someone and full on being like, now come to my house for an orgy. Like, we want some separate. There's middle ground, you know, and we just want that middle ground as performers.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that was the really big stretch, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I have been stretching a lot lately, so I was prepared for it. I think obviously I'm biased in this, but I think Heather's right, and I think you're right too, Chelsea. And I would say anyone that's watching and is a performer, if you do meet someone and they're like, talk about me, introduce me, that person is like, they're not wanting to be with you, they're wanting the attention that you get.
Yeah, and that's a huge red flag for me. And I've had exes who have heard they've wanted me to take jokes out of my set. You know, they're like, "Well, you're with me now. Don't talk about your ex." You know, or that didn't really happen with me, so I don't want you talking about it on stage. You know, or and I've had all of that happen to me, and it's just that those are red flags. You know, or ones that show up to my show and start drama. Absolutely not. This right now, I understand that this is a bar, but this is my place of work. So don't start shit with me here, you know, and because you're jealous and insecure about me doing my job, you know, because this is a job. Is it fun? Yes. Do we get to make people laugh? Yes. Do we get to drink on the job? Yes. But still, real comics are still looking at this as a profession. This is still a job that I have to do.
Yeah.
You know, so if my significant other shows up and causes drama, I was just talking to Miles about this because this happened with an ex of mine. And him and I were headlining a local venue, like a theater, and it was in Vallejo, in Miles's hometown. And we had a lot of people, and he showed up and he started like drama. And I was like, you have to, I had to kick him out. I had to kick him out of the venue. And I was like, you're ruining this right now. Like right now you're ruining this. And I do not deserve that. Yeah. So
that's a whole other issue where it's like, what do you think, saying this to the ex, what do you think's do you think you're going to win her back? Do you think going to her workplace and starting drama is going to...
Oh, he fully does. I mean...
I know. I mean, I don't know if the three of us agreeing is going to help him understand that. But, like, that's not going to work. So...
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. So I would just say, you know, check your jealousy if you're dating someone, you know, because the significant other thing, you know, unless it's part of your shtick, you know... Like if Miles was a magician and Heather was his assistant, yes, then you can introduce your significant other because she was part of the act. She was part of the show, you know? And so it's like, that's where the line can be drawn. But it's like when it's a solo performance, I'm just doing stand-up comedy, you know, just you need to understand to take a step back. You know, when I'm packing up my shit and we're walking to the car, that's when we can be all lovey-dovey. But right now, I need to stand on my own, you know?
Yeah, and being... And just, I mean, we've made this point already, but just clarification. Being in the jokes is not being part of the act. You were not a performer on stage, so.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I'm so sorry, Heather, that random strangers are coming up to you and touching you. I don't know who needs to hear this. Obviously, a lot of people need to hear a lot of things, starting with wash your fucking hands. But don't touch people.
People have done weird shit. He used to do a bit years ago about me being in like the fitness industry, and I would have us weigh our food. And I will never forget, we were at this show and I was eating, and at the end of the show, somebody came up and picked up my plate, and they were like, "Do you know how much your food weighs?" And I was like, "What is wrong with you?
No,
you can't just do that to a person." So yeah, people are crazy.
That's disgusting. No, I mean, I get a lot of it at comedy shows and at drag shows, people just coming up and touching me. And it's like, what are you doing? I'm a person. Don't touch me unless I said it was okay. And you can ask, you can say, "Hey, can I give you a hug? Can I feel your muscle? Can I look at your shoes?" Whatever. I get that one. But like, just ask. Okay, that's not a relation. I just felt we needed to make that point because that's egregious is a good word. Okay, let's talk about being friends with an ex. Now, obviously, if that ex is coming to your workplace and you're a comedian and they're starting drama, that's not going to be a good way to be friends with your ex. But let's say you're both normal, mature, well-adjusted people. What do you guys think about being friends with your ex?
Me personally, none of my exes are well-adjusted people.
Oh.
That's just being honest. So I'm not friends with any of my exes.
I mean, is that like a type? Because like I certainly have a type when I date, and I wouldn't say they're the most well-adjusted people either. Or is it just like happenstance?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a type. It's probably a type, but not anymore. But I mean, as far as Miles goes, he's not really friends with any of his exes, but he's friends with like ex fuck buddies, and I've been totally fine with that. We hang out, we've double dated, so you gotta trust him. You gotta trust him. That's just what it is. If you're secure in your relationship, it doesn't matter.
See, it all comes back. Full circle. Because it's true. Like if you're secure, like Heather's very secure, and they have a very secure relationship where, like Miles is on the road, I mean, when the world was available, he was on the road all the time, now Heather's on the road working. And so it's like, they are, separate, and to have that work, you have to have a secure relationship. You have to be okay with that, and I don't know. I'm not friends. I mean, I feel like, to be friends with your exes, it has to deal with what kind of people they are and how the relationship ended. Mm-hmm. That's that. It just comes down to that. I think it's completely possible. Especially if you are both just well-rounded, adjusted, level-headed human beings, adults. I don't think that you can handle stuff like that when you're like 19, because it's like you're not a real person yet. You know what I mean? You haven't like lived life. It's so what?
No, you have to be 25 before your frontal cortex forms. Like, you're not a person until you're 25. Like, I look back at decisions I made when I was like 24 even, and I'm like, the fuck was I thinking?
Right.
Sorry, I was just really agreeing.
So no, I just think when you're older, when you've experienced life, when you have a clearer idea of like what it is that you want your life to look like and, be about, that's when you can, like, if I had an ex right now and we were cool, like it was just one of those things where we didn't fit, I have no problem being friends with my exes at all. But when they're not well-adjusted people, it's like, you know what, we need to end this, and you need to actually be deleted from my life. Like, just for my own psyche. Get out.
Okay, so contingent on them being a normal, mature person, you can be friends with your exes, even your ex-fuck buddies. Just be normal about it.
Yeah. And I think it just comes down to the ex or whoever it is, as long as they respect the new person you're with. I think that's a huge part of it, because it's you have to be mature, but they have to respect it too. Because going back to the friend that Miles is still friends with, like she reached out to me, we were super cool, and we just like hit it off right away. So she let me know where she was coming from, so I knew she wasn't just trying to invade the space. So she was super respectful from the get.
Now,
that's good. Yeah.
What if in this situation Miles was like, I don't want you to meet Heather to the ex?
I mean, that's a red flag in itself, but I mean,
that's huge.
Miles introduced us. I think like she was looking for a trainer or something.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he put us into contact with each other. And right from the get, before we even talked about fitness, she was just like, hey, just so you know, I'm not trying to, do anything. This is just what it is. And I'm like, great, cool. Then we can be cool.
And see, what you just said kind of goes back to the first question of, if your partner doesn't want to introduce you to a past flame, that's an issue. Like that's a security issue. That's an insecurity issue, excuse me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that goes back to the first question of, wanting to introduce your significant other to an audience after a show. It's like, if your current partner, especially if they're like hanging out with them, like if they're hanging out with them and then you're like, I'd like to meet them. It's like, no, really, we need to sit down and have a serious discussion.
Your partner's the issue then.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So both issues come down to respect for the other person. I think I sense a theme about respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was sung about for a reason.
Say that again.
It was sung about for a reason.
All right, I think. Oh, if anyone's watching, by the way, and you have questions, relationship questions, dating questions, write them in. We will try to read them if we can, because this is more fun if people have questions, and I didn't write them all. So, come on, viewers, write your questions in. Twitch,
Do it.
YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Okay, here's another one. We're going to get back to performer partners who are performers, because that's a great place for us to be, the three of us, to talk about. If the performer is on the road, and ironically, you're on the road now, Heather, as Chelsea mentioned, but if the performer is on the road, how can the non-performing partner, and I know a lot of people, like Chelsea goes on the road with Miles, and a lot of people are like, oh, there's no way they're not together on the road. But like, they're not, they're friends.
We could have a whole show on just that.
Oh no, I think we talked about it on this show for at least 5 minutes. But it's like, so let's say somebody, okay, let me give a scenario for this one. Let's say somebody's new, COVID's over, hopefully, and somebody's new to dating a comic, and the comic is a road comic, and they're going on the road with the comic of the opposite sex, or the same sex if they're into the same sex. They're going on the road with someone that the partner is worried they might be interested in. What's a good way for the non-performing partner to deal with that?
You got to have your own stuff. I mean, that's what it comes down to, you know, whether it's a job, hobby, friends, all the above. Your partner can't be it. Because if your partner is it, you're going to feel empty as hell when they leave. So, I mean, you have to have your own stuff. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, then it just goes back to trust.
And communication. I think it goes back to that and communication. Because if your partner is, the non-performing partner is just living their life for the performing partner, that's not healthy. You need to have, and I've had that too, where it's just like love, infatuation, whatever, turns into obsession. And that's when it's unhealthy, you know? So it's like, I have to do this. And that's the thing, people have to understand that relationships are two people that fit so well together, but they still are complete on their own. Like, they need to be whole people standing alone, but they just mesh well together. You know, like, you can't seek out a partner who's going to quote unquote complete you. That's not a thing. You need to be a complete person, have your own shit. Like Heather said, you have to have your own stuff, your own life, own hobbies, blah, blah, blah. So then when the performing partner is out, you're still whole. There's not a part of you missing. Do you miss them? Absolutely. Do you wish they were home? For sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can still function.
Yeah.
But then also the communication 100%, needs to be there. You need to check in. You need to talk to each other. Also see where they're at. What is it that you need right now? I know I'm not physically there, but how can I be, and how can I help you achieve this level of comfort that you need and support, because I'm your partner, Yeah.
And just come up with a schedule, if you can. Like, after every show Miles is done, especially even with Chelsea, I can count on a FaceTime within a half hour after the show. We recap, we talk, we'll talk about my day. So just come up with a schedule, text throughout the day if you can, FaceTime.
The schedule is really important, but also, what else is really important is setting little rules. Like with one of my exes, we had a rule where if I had a performance that day, whether it be theater, musical theater, singing, comedy, whatever it is, if I'm performing, we are not having a serious conversation or getting into an argument, because now you're going to fuck with me and my performance on stage. So it's like little things like that. This is just a rule. Today's performance day. Yeah. We're keeping everything kosher. Like, it's just, that was a rule that we implemented, and it really helps just keep, everybody kind of at, square one.
For sure.
No, that's good. I wanted to ask, Chelsea, have you ever gone on the road with a comic and their partner, I'm going to call it the NPP, the non-performing partner. The NPP thinks that there's something going on, but the performing partner, obviously not Miles, but the performing partner doesn't do anything to be open and honest and communicate for whatever reason. And then now all of a sudden you're the bad guy without being the bad guy.
I've had, not with other comics, because I'm a very open person anyway, and I'm very honest about what my relationship is with everybody in my life. So I've never had a partner accuse me of sleeping with, or seeing behind their back the performer that I'm on the road with. I've never had that, but I have had partners accuse me of sleeping with audience members, well, you were talking to them from the stage, or you had a drink with them. Why did he buy you a drink? You were looking at this chick, and and it's like, yeah, but it all goes back to the insecurity issue. You have insecurities, you have jealousy issues. You're going to be looking at this person through a different lens. It's not through a lens of love. It's through a lens of judgment and fear that you're not good enough. And it's like, I've already chosen you. Like, just live in that, comfort of knowing that I chose you. And right now I'm just being this charismatic person on stage, but I'm going home with you. So shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm.
That's also really weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like anyone that would date a comedian, especially you, and Heather does date a comedian that performs your style of, it's called crowd working, where you're talking a lot to the audience and you're getting into their life, and you're you might ask them a lot of questions, and you might make some assumptions about them, and they might be right, and it might seem like you know them, but it doesn't. And Miles actually refers to those sorts of things as magic tricks, which he's not a magician, which you said earlier. You gave an example, so I should clarify that he's a magic trick when he, and you guys know him better than I do, so you can word this better probably, but it's a magic trick when he ties something together with the information that he got, and he seems like a genius for being able to do it, when really people just kind of served it on a plate, and he was like, oh look, if you hold it this way, it's this picture. So yeah, crowd work is a thing. So if you're going to date a comedian and they start talking to the audience, like, calm down, they're just doing their job.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I don't know if I have a follow-up question for that. That's I just, it's like, yeah.
I mean, you have a page of questions.
No, I do.
So we can just move on. If you
we
want.
can
Like,
move on.
no.
We can move on. I was just,
Okay.
I'm caught on people like thinking that you're dating people from the audience because you're talking to them. I can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, these are exes that I've been with that are very insecure people, where we could, go to a bar. This is a scenario that happened. We went to a bar, and I mean, I'm very loudly bisexual. I've said that 1,000 times. I mean, I find men and women attractive, I mean, so it's like, I am very vocally bisexual, but this person was also very insecure when it came to that, because then they would watch me watch other people. But when I'm in a new place, like I was in a bar, I'd never been in this bar before. So my like reflexes are heightened, or whatever. Like I'm looking at everybody, just knowing my surroundings. And this very attractive woman came in, but she was one of those, those people who like are just fascinating to look at, like either they're really just beautiful, or like a drag queen who's painted to fucking perfection. I know you don't know about that, Suzette, but like a drag queen that's just like fucking flawless, this person whose, outfit is very well put together, or it's like, or something where you're just like, no, like I can't take my eyes off that person. And the person that I was with saw me staring at this woman and was just like, you want to date chicks now? And like, I'm not good at it, and just blew up. And I was like, I'm looking at a human. Like, and we just got into this huge fight because his insecurities was like, oh, she's looking at a girl, she's bisexual, she wants to fuck her and not me. And that's where it went, and so it's just like your insecurities will destroy a fucking relationship. Done. You're fucking it up.
Well, that gets back to what you were just saying, which is like, who am I going home with? Calm down.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and I'm just weird because like I've sat back during the meet and greets and stuff and watched women hit on Miles, and I think it's hilarious because Miles just gets awkward when he gets hit on, especially like older women love him.
Oh my
love
God.
him to pieces.
Oh my God.
So I just sit back and I'm just cackling. I think it's hilarious.
Right. Or we'll get questions on stage, because we like ask everybody, hey, does anyone have any questions? Like, let's turn this into a meet and greet right here during the show. Questions?
Mm-hmm.
Always, without a fucking doubt. You two fucked before? Without a doubt.
Every show.
Heather's in the back, like stewing, like, oh, I wonder if today's the day they admit it. No, we've never fucked. Like,
No. And I on everything know that they have it and trust them every time they've gone. So yeah.
And right, and our between the three of us especially, our communication's so good that if something did happen between me and Miles, she would be on fucking FaceTime watching it. Like, I mean, it's just like that's where our relationship is. It's just like nothing's ever happened, but where our communication, with where their marriage is and with who I am to them. I mean, I'm both of their best friends. And so it's like, I would know if something was, going to go down, but I would make sure for fuck's sake, she would know too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, after 5 years, I'm looking at Miles through a different light. First of all, that's not going to fucking happen. But if it did, I would tell him. I mean.
Well, and I could read them both like a book. So there's no way in hell they could keep that a secret.
I have a really good poker face. I'm not sure what you're fucking talking about.
But it comes down to communication, trust, the same kind of trust that, and that's the theme all the way through is communication and trust.
Right.
And if you can't handle that, if you're an insecure person, a jealous person, if you need the spotlight, then that's something you need to work on, and it's not your partner's fault. Now, this isn't one of the written questions. I hope it's okay. I am going to riff myself here. But, we've talked about types. Now, what if I'm attracted to people who might be neurotic and jealous? Or anyone watching?
What? You're attracted to someone who's neurotic and jealous?
No, I mean, but what if I was?
Is that a trait that people look for as a strength?
No, not at all. But you don't really pick what your type is, right?
I'm just gonna say don't. Like, if that's what you're attracted to, just don't.
Okay, well, that's a good question.
I go back to getting a cat.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your type, just get a cat.
No, but okay, so you mentioned that it might have been your type that you had dated previously, but then you were able to break type and date Miles. So how do you do that? How do you break type?
Ask your friends what they think of them.
Oh, God. Beware. Because they will be brutally fucking honest with you.
Well, not everyone's friends are your friends. I mean, of course, your friends.
You know Heather's. You can contact her.
Oh no, I will. I will, and I have, and I will again. I'm just talking about the fact that Heather and Miles know what is it? You know where she's getting married and how she's getting married, right?
I know how they're gonna propose.
That's what I was referencing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I need my own little private session after the show. I just, breaking type is hard. And if you find that you're attracted to the same type over and over and it's not a good type for you, I guess let your friends pick is what we're saying.
I mean, let your friends pick. Make a list. Make a list of all those traits that your ex had. And when you meet this new person, go down that checklist. If you got a couple checks.
I did one of those checklists about everything that you wanted. Did you guys ever do that where it's like Oprah's like 100 things that you want in a partner or something? I have like 6 of them around this place. I start them and then I always start and they're always so basic. Like I want them to be honest and I want them to, love, coffee in the morning and I want them to, tell me where they are in the afternoon. But then I come to number 26 or 27 and I'm like, fuck, I'm out of them. So then I get super specific and I'm like, they have to they have to only eat 3 pieces of pizza or it gets to weirdly specific.
But I think, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
I was just gonna say, I think that's actually, you said it starts basic, but it's not basic. What was the first thing you said?
Honest.
Honest? That's not basic. That's a really important thing for me, and I'm assuming for you, and for most people it should be. Honest, like maybe it's like a building block. I guess that's what you meant by basic, but like, I think that's a huge thing. Like, I think they should be honest. And then, if truly, if let's say you eat at a pizzeria and the pizza comes in 6 slices, then they better only eat 3 because you might want 3 yourself. Or like, I've dated people who wouldn't eat a certain color of Skittle. So like, I got all of that Skittle and then they wanted all of like the red and purple.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm just saying like that it comes down to like, that's super specific, but like, does it work for you? Because if it doesn't, then you should find somebody who doesn't like Skittles at all.
But I mean, this all stemmed from you saying, what if I'm attracted to jealousy? Which I, honest to God, don't know. I don't know if that's a trait where people are like, oh my God, like you're super jealous, like let's bone. Like, I don't think that that's a trait that people find attractive. That's one of those traits where I feel like it's a red flag for everybody. I hope that it's a red flag for everybody. Now when you find out that this person does possess this jealousy trait, do you stay? That's the thing where it's like, sure.
Yeah, people typically aren't going to be jealous right from the get.
Right, exactly.
But even then, I feel like
it shows up later.
Jealousy and obsession kind of coincide. And so I think people can get really excited about somebody being obsessed with them and kind of brush the jealousy to the side for a while.
Oh, I've done that. That's a total thing too, where you're like excited because it's like, well, I'm getting all this attention and they think that I'm this amazing person, like, okay, so I'll just look past it. Like this, like, I mean, yeah, this part sucks, but look at all this, like, so, and that's very, very common. Because it's like those two choices of like, do I stay in this like kind of bad situation, but I'm in a relationship, or do I end this hoping to find something better, but then I'm single, alone, and sad? Like, so it's like weighing those things out.
Yeah. Well, and just to be clear, I'm not attracted to jealous people, but I will say, at 37 years old, I've learned that all sorts of different people are attracted to all sorts of different things, and everyone has a kink. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually was turned on by their partner being jealous.
Right.
There's plenty of people. I'm sure there's one.
Yeah.
I bet there's a bunch.
I'll find them.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we'll start a list.
You have to sort through the bug men and the egg men first. Okay. So how do you deal with your performing partner being on the road? This is we just talked about this, but is there anything else to add? And as the performing partner, Chelsea, how do you deal with being on the road? So let's say maybe not with jealousy, but like missing your partner back at home.
Go ahead, Heather. You're doing this right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm living it right now. I mean, just you gotta find time to talk. We FaceTime a couple times a day. We chat. After this, we're gonna do like just a Valentine's Eve Zoom date. So you gotta make it work. For Valentine's Day, I sent him a custom cake, not through Chelsea because he's in Vegas, but it would have been through Chelsea.
So rude.
Yeah, just drive to Vegas and drop it off for him.
I think she probably would have, but
I know you have these 10 other orders, but I'm more important. So if you could just go, thanks. So yeah, you got to find little things that you can do, even just like little texts. I miss you. I wish you were here. Just something, because coming from the other side of it, you just want to know they're thinking about you.
Right.
That's enough. I mean, for me, it was enough.
That's for both sides. That's 100% for both sides. You know, and even if that's not necessarily your love language, if like words of affirmation isn't what sets you off, like gets you to that point, like, shows you that your partner loves you, every single person appreciates it. Like getting that text message, like when I'm in a relationship and I get a random text, like those good morning, good night texts, sure, like they are, necessary and you expect them, but it's still super exciting when you get them, like seeing that person's name in a notification. It's like, I love that. That's the stuff that I look forward to, just little things like that. Even if it's just like, what are you doing? Miss you, love you, like Heather said, just those little things, they go so far, especially when you're not next to the face-to-face with the person. You need to have that communication.
Well, and even if your love language isn't words of affirmation, it will be while they're gone. Like,
right. Oh, 100%. Yes. That needs to be incorporated without a doubt. Yeah.
Could you guys,
because I mean, you can't do the physical touch. You can't do like the, like Heather's doing, like she was gift giving, with the custom, cake and stuff. So it's like little things like that. Or send flowers if you're gone for, a certain amount of time or something, even a cheesy ass Facebook post, make that shit public. And it's like that shows the other person that you're thinking about them and that it's important,
Yeah.
Also, I want to say send flowers that she likes. Just because she's a girl doesn't mean she likes roses. She might like roses, but maybe she likes something
bougie
else.
Bitch. I mean, please send me a goddamn fern. I don't care. Like, if you send me anything, I'm super excited. Like, I mean,
I'm gonna send you a heather plant.
I'm just saying there are flowers that people don't like, and if someone doesn't like,
I mean,
flower,
if they're allergic, okay, but like a mixed bouquet where it's like, wow,
that's fine.
If you've been gone for 3 weeks and you send me a flower, I don't care what one it is, I'm stoked.
Okay. Right. I'm different. Look, there's flowers I hate and I don't want those flowers. But
well, you and your jealous partner can just go and fuck somewhere else.
Well, we know I'm single, I guess, because I have terrible taste and I'm bougie. None of these are true and I'm still single. Okay, I did give out like 130 Valentines today though, so like, okay. What is the right balance? I like this question. What's the right balance of critique and support for the performing partner?
Oh shit.
I mean, I think it depends on the performer.
Yeah.
Some performers are more sensitive than others. Some you can be harsh and upfront with. I think it's the whole rule in any critique. You have to sandwich it: positive, negative, positive. And so I think when you're critiquing your significant other, this is what you did great. This is what you could work on. But this was really great. And so, if you're just sitting there bashing their whole set, you have a bigger issue. But you gotta sandwich it. But it depends on the partner. Miles and I have a very different relationship because I help him write. So my critique a good chunk of the time is on my own joke that I wrote. So it's different.
Yeah, you kind of have an ownership of that joke, so you're not criticizing him as much as your own seed that you planted. I don't know, because he took it somewhere else, but you're part of it. I had a follow up. What? I forgot it. I'm sorry. I was lost in your answer. Did you guys have anything else to say about that one?
No.
Okay, that's fair. Well, okay, here's one that's kind of in that vein.
Okay.
It's actually the next question. Oh, we segued. What if your performing partner can't make it? Like, obviously, it depends on the person, how you deal with that, and that's not your situation. Heather, did you date comics before, Miles? Okay, so what'd you say?
He's it.
Oh, that's how you broke your type. Chelsea, you've dated comics.
Yeah. Whoops.
Have you dated?
It wasn't here in the Bay Area. Let me say that. It was not here in the Bay Area. Okay.
Right. Well, you've talked on the show about one of them that you dated. Have you dated any comics that just weren't going to make it?
No. No. I mean, he was a very respected comic in New York, and he actually, during his breakup speech to me, which I feel like he rehearsed, he told me that I wasn't gonna make it, that I was not a comic, I was not an actress, I was not a singer, all these things, that I was wasting my time, blah blah blah. Like, he's the one who told me that. So no, I feel like there's a fine line between being honest and coddling and blowing smoke. Like, if they're not going to make it, that's fine. But maybe you help them, right, so that it's better, or maybe you introduce something else to them, or something like that. But if it's something that brings them genuine joy, don't fucking squash that. You know what I mean? Like, if they love going to open mics, and like, that's what's making them happy, let them still do it. They're not asking to get like a Netflix special, so it's like, let them do this, let them have it. Don't rain on their parade if it's not really necessary. It's not necessary.
Well, I guess the question is, it becomes like, what if they think they're going to get a Netflix special and you don't?
Well, what's the reason that they're not going to make it? Is it something as simple as a work ethic? Great, we can fix that, I hope. Not for everybody, but some you can. Is it joke writing? Is it they're not personable on stage? So I think it really just depends on what it is, what the reason is you think they're not going to make it.
And I also think that if they're not going to make it, fine, that's fine. But you have to know your partner well enough to know if that's something that you can say to them, or if that's something they just have to discover over time. Yeah. If they're one of these people who's really sensitive, like Heather was talking about earlier, it's like, then, you might just have to sit this one out and be like, well, I need to be, supportive, and this is what they need right now, and blah, 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 blah. And then over time, when they come to that realization on their own, it's like dealing with a child. You know what I mean? Like, if I need my son to do something, then I'll give him two options. Both of them need to be done, but now he has the option of, he thinks that he's in charge, well, these are my two options. I'm going to do this because it's my choice. So it's like, let them find out over time that it's not going to happen. And then it's kind of on them. You don't have to say, I told you so. You don't have to say, I knew this would happen. You don't have to say that I knew you would fail. You don't have to do that, but you have to know your partner well enough to be like, can we have this conversation,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also, the person that doesn't think they might make it could be wrong. So
true.
Oh, I felt like that was worth saying. Okay. What do you how do you handle success in a performing partner relationship? Did you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear Heather.
Oh, okay. We lost Heather.
Hold on. Heather, talk.
Talking.
Oh,
okay.
I can hear you now.
There we go.
Yay.
So back to that question. How do you handle success?
Yeah. I think it really just comes down to, like, let them take the spotlight, don't let it get to their head, obviously, but, like what Chelsea said earlier, like, this is their time to shine. Let them take it. Keep them humble, obviously. But it's a big deal to them, and as it should be, when Miles got booked for his dry bar special, I was ecstatic for him. When it came out, I was ecstatic for him. Watched it with him a couple times. Like, let them, enjoy it. Let them, have it. So it doesn't have to be about you.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea, what do you think? Like, how do you...
Do the question again? I kind of blacked out.
Sure. How do you handle success as the performing partner when you're in a relationship?
How do you handle success? Yeah, I mean, Heather said it right. Just keep the other person humble. And you do have to be each other's cheerleader, for sure. yeah, that's just, that also just goes down to, you lift each other up when the other one needs it. It's just, that's when the relationship is really a partnership to me, and that's what I've always said that I wanted. I want a teammate. I want a partner. I want a best friend. That's what I want, where, we encourage each other, we support each other. You say you want to do something, and then I'm behind you 100%, and I'll try to, lift you up as much as I can and help in any way that I can, encourage any way that I can. So I feel like that's when the relationship turns into, a partnership. Yeah. Is just, really support the other one. And it's true. That's exactly right. I remember when he got that, and it was just like, whatever's going on in Heather's life is still going on. It's still completely valid. But right now we need to be celebrating this because, she's been working with him and she knows how hard he worked to get to this point. So let's put everything else on pause right now and just live on this pedestal, so.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I wanted to say thank you, Heather, for coming here with us. I mean, we're not done yet, but I just was thinking you have a date afterwards. So thank you for spending this time with us before your date.
He's on here right now, so.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Maybe.
And he always works on Valentine's Day anyway.
It's a big day for performers. If you're good.
It's true. And that's something that actually me, Miles, and Heather, we talk about all the time. When you're dating, especially a stand-up comic, you have to be ready for normal date days. Are we working on Valentine's Day? Yep. Because guess when dates are? Valentine's. Where do they go? Out to a show. What are we doing? Performing a show. So it's like, can we go out to dinner on a Saturday night? Nope, because I probably have 2 shows back to back. So it's like, you have to be ready for weird performing, schedules. Yeah. And that's just another thing that, dating a comic is, people think that it's this grandiose thing. People think that comics only work 40 minutes while they're on stage. And it's like, no, there's a lot more to it. There's the networking, there's the traveling, there's the getting booked, there's the writing. There's so much that goes into standing on stage and telling jokes for 45 minutes. That's the icing on the cake. That part is weirdly like the easy part.
Well, to piggyback off of what she said, I think you have to have a sit down. This has nothing to do with the question, but you have to have a sit down and set the rules. What dates are you not allowed to work? And that needs to be from the get. When you become serious, that has to be a sit down, because that's been our thing. And I compromise. I'll give up Valentine's Day. It's fine, but I won't give up my birthday and our anniversary.
Right. Those are days that are off limits.
And he works his birthday freaking every year. So.
Right. And it's true. I'm not in a relationship right now, for the 3 viewers that are watching. So I'm not in a relationship right now, but it's when I go on the road, my son is 4, these are very developmental years in his life. So it's I don't want to miss a birthday. I don't want to miss, a Christmas with him, and so it's these are things that I need to prioritize in my life. Do I want to get on the road again and be a working comic? Absolutely. But I need to also show my son that I'm putting him first. And that relationship standard needs to be in your relationship with your significant other as well. Show them how important it is, for them. What dates, what weekends would you like me to be here, and say no to work just in case. Because if you show them that they're number one, great. Yeah. That's a way of being a supportive partner, like we were talking about earlier.
Well, even when I was in school, Miles would be like, when's your spring break? I'm putting that on my calendar. I want to be home when you're free.
Right.
So simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
So support from both sides, the performer and the non-performer, and scheduling a date night or blocking out certain dates really helps.
And especially when you list it like that, it sounds very tedious and planned out and not romantic and not spontaneous, because you still want to do that. And there will be times where spontaneity comes up in your relationship.
Sure.
But we're just saying as like a base or like as a foundation, these are things that as a couple, one of you being a performer and one of you not, these are the things that you need to talk about. You know what I mean? Or if you're both performers, you know what I mean? Like Heather and Miles now are both traveling for their prospective work, So like when I was dating a stand-up comic, we had to figure that out. If I could do my show and then go meet him at his show, great, awesome. I will sit in the back, have a drink, and support you from here. And then we can be a couple, on the subway on the way home. Like that's what we can do, But I think too often, if there are two performers that, especially if they're in the same field, sometimes competition can show up, and it can be an unsaid thing where you're like, this person's getting further ahead. Just to go back to like the success thing that you were talking about. If this person's getting further ahead, this person might have jealousy issues that come in because it's like, well, wait a minute, why am I being passed up? Or they're getting more recognition. Are they funnier than me? And I wrote that joke for them. Like, why aren't they giving me credit? Or something to that effect. Like jealousy issues can come up if both parties, are not communicating or, this issues come up. Yeah.
Great points. Again, communication is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I had something. I'm sorry. I should write down when I have my thoughts. Okay, next question. What if you're an audience member and you want to ask out the performer?
Oh, shit. God. You're just going down my lifeline, you piece of shit. This is just out of...
Oh, no, I fully was just thinking about you while I wrote these questions. Yeah.
I can't. Okay. Heather, okay. I have to get my charger. You start this one. Go.
Yeah, because I've asked so many comics out.
Okay, well...
Sorry, you have.
So you asked one out, for sure.
I mean, but we were a different case, because we were friends for 3 years before we started dating.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we met and we were both with different people. So yeah, ours is a very different case.
So then that kind of ties in what David Shapiro was asking earlier, where with like being friends first. Is that, I mean, you might be biased. Is that a good way to start dating, or like strangers?
I think that's a great way to start dating, because you're not walking on eggshells. You know what I mean? Like when Miles and I started romantically talking, we both knew how each other was in relationships. So, we knew a good, not everything about each other, but we knew a good chunk about each other. But I mean, like,
the one thing that scares me about that, because it worked for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like the scary part of being friends with someone, especially if the friendship is strong, is what if you fuck it up? And there's always that possibility of like, let's try this. But then if it gets weird and it won't work, there's always that possibility of one of you not being able to go back to this square the way that it was. And that's what's scary,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So yeah, I've heard it works for some people. It doesn't work for some people. So but that's just anything.
Right.
I think if you're an audience member wanting to ask a performer out,
do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Fucking do it.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just don't be a groupie. Like there's gotta be that fine line.
Yeah. Or be like, come up with some like clever, you know what I mean? Like buy their merch, and then like
support them.
When you Venmo them, like in the comments, like leave your number. Like something, like be clever with it. Like if someone did that, like done, like marry me. I'll get on my fucking knee. Like let's do it. But I've asked audience members out. I've asked audience. Oh wait, we're not talking about that. We're talking about audience members. Oh God, did I ruin the show? What was the question?
Ruin. Done.
I think
Turn it off.
yeah, Jesse's done with me because of you. No, I think that's actually the next question. So if you want to go there, we can totally go there. I think that's it, because we're asking from both perspectives. That's why this. I really like you guys as relationship a panel for, especially when it comes to dating performers, because we have, as we mentioned at the top, we have the non-performing partner, and then we have a performer. So you guys can kind of cover it from both ways. So I guess until we circle back, Chelsea, what if you want to ask out people in the audience as the performer?
Oh, I fully have. Yeah. And the thing is that I've had comics tell me that they're impressed that I can flirt so violently with a human being who's sitting in the audience. I mean, it's bad. Like, I will flirt with them like crazy, but then when they talk to me one-on-one, I turn into a scared 4-year-old girl. I'm just like, yikes, like, I need an adult. Can someone help me? What do I do? Like, I wither and die because I get nervous. One-on-one conversations scare me way more than making a room of 200 people laugh, and that's just me, so but I have asked out audience members, where I'll see them from the stage, I'll fuck with them from the stage, and then it's like, when they come up to me afterwards, it's like, and hi, like, here's my number, like, let's talk, like, what are you doing after this, like, drop the hints where I'll ask them out, but yeah, I mean, if someone asked me out at a show, I mean, I would be so flattered. But I do come off as I'm kind of a terrifying person, so I haven't had many people ask me out because they're probably scared they're going to get
a little bit, because
broken.
you just described flirting as violent. Most people don't use that adjective for
Oh
that.
no, it's completely accurate what I said.
Oh no, I know, because I know you and I've seen you on stage a lot. Violent is a great adjective for everything you do on stage. In a good way. You're not like Gallagher, but like let's change it to passionate. That's a less pejorative term.
I'll stick with violent. Go.
Okay. You're really passionate. I think last week we talked about you being a wave. I can't remember what kind of wave, but basically a wave of demolition coming through.
Holy shit! That's awesome. Yeah, that's insanely accurate.
Oh, that's how you're listed in my phone.
Wave.
It says, don't answer.
That's amazing.
I'm changing that right now.
Wave of demolition.
I'm obsessed with that. That's going to be my new Venmo sign.
Suzette, how do you feel? How do you feel today? Can you handle the wave of demolition coming through? No, don't answer. Okay, so so Heather, you're obviously with somebody. You don't have to tell us like how you guys met, but let's say you had this experience of dating a comic, and I don't ever want this, but now you're back single and you're in the audience, and another comic starts flirting with you from the stage. Like, are you like, no, or are you like, talk to me afterward? Like,
I mean, I'm probably not the right person to ask, because I'm not. If that were to happen, I'm not dating another comic. Let's make that very clear.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
okay.
I feel like if they dissolved, I feel like she would kind of be done with comedy clubs. Like, I don't see her really going those. Because she's been to so many, and she's seen it from both sides, and like people know her as this, and so it's like I feel like she would just kind of like that would be, she would just frequent arcades at that point. Like,
and I ask too many questions. Like, if a guy's, because here's the difference, because it kind of is a double standard. If a guy's the comic hitting on a woman in the audience, I feel like it's perceived differently than when Chelsea's on the stage hitting on a guy in the audience.
I can say things on stage that guys could literally never get away with. Yeah 100%.
So if I were in the audience, I'd be like, yeah, he says this to every chick at the show. Like, I feel like it's just a one every show. So I'm gonna view it differently than if, you know, a woman's hitting on a guy in the audience.
Okay. Good answers. Again, I had to follow. I really need to write them down. That's all the prepared questions I have. Did anyone ask any? No? Okay. Well, viewers, you missed out because we have a really great panel for relationship advice.
You know so much stuff.
I know. I'm gonna take advantage of this.
I feel really like uncomfortable and awkward that you're calling me a relationship expert, and I'm not in like. I feel really awkward about it.
Okay.
But I'm also okay. Let me say this. Let me interrupt you because it's my show now. Let me interrupt you. I do feel like it is harder for me now. I'm 40 years old now, which is still a weird sentence for me to say because I just turned 40. But it's like I feel like now I am so clear with what it is that I want. There's specifics that I want. I have more deal breakers now than I ever have in my life, you know? And so it's like, because of that, it's weird because I feel like you could call it picky, but it's just me knowing what I want. So I need to hold out and wait for this right person. But in a weird way, I feel like as time goes on, I should just like let anyone in. It's just like, bitch, just lower. And I know it just feels very backwards. But I just know what I want now. Like I know that this is a deal breaker. This is a standard now. This, you have to have this. You cannot have this. There's all these standards that I have now. And it's just like, it's just known, you know, and that comes with going through life, you know? So it's like, you know, a relationship expert, sure. Because I've been through so many garbage relationships that it's like, now I just know checklist, never again, always. Like that's what I need to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, you definitely, in my book, you are, because you're not somebody that's not putting themselves out there. So you're putting yourself out there. You're finding out what doesn't work, unfortunately. But that's not your own fault. I mean, I think we did like 5 weeks in a row where we just talked about the insane situations that happen when you try dating. So yeah, I mean, I would say expert, because what would an expert be? Somebody who's been in one relationship for 50 years? Yeah, okay, maybe, but then do they know what doesn't work? Because all they know is what works, unless they're on and off for 50 years. So I think that's silly. I did remember what I was going to say. I was just going to riff and point out that Heather would not be that weird non-performing partner that decides like they like dating the comic, so now they're going to like start producing shows because they can't be the comic, so they're just going to be like a weird groupie now and hang around the comedy scene, because that happens.
Long-term, Miles wants to run his own club, and I told him like it could kind of be fun, like helping out booking. I wouldn't produce a show, but I'd love to help book. I think that could be fun until I get even more jaded than I am.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious, what would you look for in, because that's something I could talk about all day. It's not relationship, but what do you look for when you book a show?
I mean, it's kind of, I think it also helps because I've been to so many comedy festivals, so I've heard a lot of panels and stuff. I think the clip you're sending in is a big thing. If it's on your phone, don't. There has to be certain things you're looking for in a clip if you're trying to get booked. I've heard this from countless bookers. Don't make me have to search for a photo of you or a clip of yours. Like everything needs to be right there. And I think it helps if other well-known comics have put their stamp of approval on you. That definitely helps. So those would be the things off the top of my head.
That's a big one. That's a really big one. And you also need to, think about what clips you're, sending in. You should have a 5, you should have a 7, you should have a 10, you should have a 15. These are clips that you should have a clean. You should have, I mean, you know, like all this stuff. I mean, this is all advice that I need to take on myself, but it's like
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
It's just like you need to have all of this stuff, you know, but that's also something that, you know, Miles has been doing for me, you know, like he knows that I want to be working more and he believes that I could be working more. So if he gets booked on the road, he's like, can I bring my own feature? And then I create a relationship with the club that we are working at that weekend, you know? So it's like, you know, and that's just, so many people in this game are just dog eat dog and step on people to get ahead. And I feel like, you know, this comedy is such, it's such a specific, you know, it's subjective, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to tell the same jokes that Miles is telling, you know, and I'm not going to be telling the same jokes that this person is telling. We're telling each other's, you know, like our own stories and experiences. So there's really no reason to like push someone out to get, you know, to get ahead. I just don't understand the logic in that. And sadly, you'll find that more often than not.
I think just to tie it back to relationships, I think you guys made a good point. At least for online dating, don't make someone search for your picture or try to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lord.
Yeah,
I
mean, in performing, make sure your headshot is as recent as possible and on your dating profile.
Dating, dude. Right now, I just talked about this on stage. Like right now, all dating apps, I mean, it's like no one is showing their COVID face. No one's showing that. You know, so like if I match with somebody and then we start texting back and forth, one of my first questions is, show me a picture of you like today. Like, let me see, you know, let me see a recent pic that I haven't seen, you know, so that I can see you. And then all of a sudden, Grizzly fucking Adams shows up and I'm like, yikes, you know, like, and it's not that I'm not attracted to that. It's just that you're not putting a good representation of who you are on these dating apps. Also, second thing, spell check your fucking profile. If you spell something wrong on your profile, it's the quickest way for me to swipe left because my vagina is drier than it's ever been in my life. Stop it.
Oh, yeah. Who's bougie now? Correct syntax and spelling and grammar.
Flowers and grammar are very different.
Thank you.
No, I'm with you actually on grammar. Like, I don't want to have a conversation with someone and they're like, especially, don't especially me. That's not a word. Like we can't especially anything. There's no X in that.
I had a guy, like, I think it was yesterday. I don't even remember what day it is. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing today? And he types back, swear to God, he types back, I'm just doing some choirs around my house. And I go, do you mean chores? Like, I mean, it's like, are you kidding? Either that or you're just, robes are everywhere. You're just fucking everywhere. Like, I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Chores? You're an adult. Like, stop it.
So
I can't with that. Like, just like little things.
But that's important. Like, if that's important to you, that's important.
Of course it is. Like, I'm like, yes, especially now because this is all we have. If I have to have like an online, like a digital relationship with you because COVID is real life, like it's happening right now, and all we have is a profile and pictures and texts to get back and forth to each other until we're at the stage where we're Zoom dating or we can meet in person for a, you know, socially distanced date, then at least spell check it. Like, I mean, that take some pride in that. You know, if I'm writing something out, even if I'm like speak to text, if I'm doing that, I will let me reread it. Yeah. What am I actually saying? Did I mess up and say something wrong? I don't want them to, you know, misread this or take it the wrong way. Spell it right.
Well, and like from your perspective, Chelsea, like if I have a kid and they're studying for a spelling test, I need to trust you can help them study.
Right. It's yes. Spelling is a big one for me. Spelling is a big one for me because if you proofread, if everything's spelled right, then I think that you're taking a pride in this text message that you're sending me, or you took time to reread your bio on your profile, like something very, very simple. It doesn't take a lot, and a lot of times your phone will tell you when you fucked up, but like,
we got no excuses now.
come on, now there's no excuses right now.
So intelligence is important to you, because I think that's, to me, that's a sign of intelligence when people.
Intelligence is important to me, but I feel like when you say things are important to you, you also have to be cognitive that, like, yes, this is important, like intelligence is important to me. Do I want them to like display this intelligence so that I feel stupid every single day? Absolutely not. Like, let's, yes, intelligence is important to a degree, like, I don't want them to, teach me quantum physics every day because they think that I'm stupider than they are, so it's like, there needs to be, there's a gauge, there's a spectrum on literally everything. You might be into, jealous guys like we talked about before, but it's like up to a certain degree, like if you come back 10 minutes late because you went to the grocery store on your way home and they're upset because of that and they slash your tires, it's like, ooh, maybe that's a level of jealousy that I'm not okay with, so there has to be a degree on everything.
That's a serial killer, if that's happening. Okay, so 2 other things that I remembered follow-ups for. One, if you guys could say what the love languages are, because just in case viewers watching are like, what are they talking about?
It's words of affirmation, gift giving, touch, and time.
And time would be spending time with the person.
There's 5.
Yeah, I'm forgetting one.
Hold on, there's
it
5.
clearly isn't mine.
Love languages are gift giving. Hold on, I just pulled them up. Receiving gift. Oh, acts of service was the one we forgot. So words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts. Well, they said receiving gifts, but I think it's actually gift giving, quality time, and acts of service. So those are the 5 love languages.
And it's important.
And you can show love and receive love differently.
Yep.
So
there's quizzes online to find
there
out
are
which
quizzes
ones you
online.
are.
I think mine have actually changed since I've done it. Like since I did it, like that was before my engagement. That was before, abuse. That was before a lot of things with me. So I feel like mine has changed. Because I don't know if I've talked about it, but like physical abuse, like that has, that changed me. And I used to be a very, very huggy person. I would hug literally everybody, and this is years ago. So COVID was not a thing, but I would hug everybody. And after that happened, hugs that was a scary territory for me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like my love language is like when you go through the real life shit that you go through, I feel like that alters not only what it is you're looking for in a partner, but what you're willing to accept, what you need from a partner. And also I feel like your love languages kind of get altered, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was just going to point out the same thing, that maybe the what you need isn't what you're good at giving. So
yeah,
it's healthy to know what you need and what you're good at giving, because it teaches you about yourself, and you might be like, oh, that's why I really want to spend time with them, because I need quality time, and it's also why I get accused of buying too many gifts, for instance, because I show my love by gift giving. So
I'm the same way. Chelsea's yelled at me before.
Oh wait, that's how you are?
I like giving gifts to people.
Oh, I was just being
I texted Chelsea one day.
Yeah.
I was like, I got you something, and she's like, stop it. I'm like,
yeah. Because it's hard for me to receive, like a lot of times love, and like it's hard for me to take it. Like it's hard for me to accept love. It's hard for me to accept compliments, just random acts. It's like, you did this, now I have to do something for you. Like I have that inside me where it's like, sometimes I'll feel guilty, or it's just like, I don't deserve that, or something like that, which is me. That's all on me. She loves giving gifts, and it's like, it's great. And she's very good at what she does,
sure.
But it's hard for me to receive it.
Yeah,
know?
no, and I was being hypothetical. I'm actually not like that. I probably am I need quality time, and I think I'm good at acts of service. But at least I know that about myself, so that if I wanted to date, that would help. I mean, I do want to, I don't, it's a lot. I don't, it doesn't look fun when I look at how it's going for you. So I'm not in a hurry. The other follow-up is, what if a performer uses their headshot as their dating profile pic? Is that weird? Is that good?
I do it. In my profile, I have a headshot there. I always have a picture of me on stage because one of my, like, you know, I've seen a lot of comics, quote unquote, on dating apps, you know, but they, you know, like, I don't know their name or I've never seen them before. And I'm like, well, are you a stand-up comic, or, you know, do you just go to an open mic once a month? You know what I mean? Or something like that. So it's like, it's fine. I can say that. I don't fucking care.
No. I just get excited about that topic because my favorite thing in the world is the person that goes to an open mic every 6 months and they're a comic. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're a what?
Right. Oh, and I've you know, gone on dates with people who think that they're usually the funny one in their group, you know, and then we'll go on a date, you know, and then they can't handle it. They're just like it's like their brain explodes because, you know, either I'm not laughing at their joke, you know, because they're just reciting a meme, fuck yourself, or, you know, they're just not funny, you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, I do this for, you know, like a living. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be like if all of a sudden you were like, hey, let me, you know, I like watching Grey's Anatomy. Let me just try surgery really quick on you. Like, see how you like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, so I don't, yeah, I mean, I have a headshot on there. I have a headshot. I mean, it's not like, you know, my name's not like printed on it or anything, like, you know, but it's a professional picture. Sure. I usually have a professional picture on there. I usually have, first of all, you need to have more than three pictures is like the minimum, you know, like I think you need to have a minimum of 3 pictures on your dating app. One of them has to be smiling. If I look through all your pictures because I find you attractive and you're not smiling in all of them, no, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, so a professional picture I always have. I always have a picture of myself on stage with a microphone so they can see. I have like a goofy one. I usually have a goofy one. I don't have a picture with me and my kid because I don't trust the people that are on these dating apps. I'm not putting my kid out on that dating app. Absolutely not. I don't have a group picture ever. There's never a group picture.
Group pictures are the worst.
For sure.
I don't want to try and figure out which one you are.
Make me do the fucking work. I mean, granted, if it's picture number 4 and it's me, you're probably going to be able to tell which one it is. I don't have a lot of friends that look like me, but still, no, because what if I do have this insecurity? What if they're looking through the picture and it's like, yo, all your friends are hotter than you? It's like, I mean, no thanks. You'll find that out later if we match. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't want, so it's just no group pictures, you know, so it's like, I have those things. You need to see a good, like group of me, like just different diverse pictures of who I am as a person.
Don't make them all selfies.
Oh God. Yeah, no.
No selfies?
Every guy profile, they're holding a fish now. Like that's a thing. We're just like, they're all holding a fish. I swear to God. There's always a gym picture. There's always like a fish picture. There's usually a hiking picture. And it's like, this is like, these are just quintessential, you know, dating profile pics. And it's just, oh God, give me something different.
Yeah, that's gross.
You have to stand out. You have to understand that these people are swiping at light speeds. You know, I mean, it's like, you have 1 second to make that, you know, impression where they pause and they want to see more. That first one, capture me.
Mm-hmm.
Skydiving pic.
No, because then I can't see your face.
Okay, well, I don't have a profile, so if I do, good to know. Show the face, show a smile.
You need to be able to see your face. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a lot of people have like mask pictures now, and it's like, if that's your first one, why would I want to look any further? Like, can I see you?
They're probably trying to show they're responsible, I guess.
Sure, but make that picture too. Like,
or just don't, and then write somewhere in the bio like, I wear a mask because it's COVID.
Right, but spell mask right.
Ooh, if they fuck up okay, wow. If they fuck up mask, then no, get away quick. That's all I had prepared. Heather, you've seen the show. I always ask my guests rapid fire questions. I wanted to extend the opportunity to you. You certainly don't have to.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. You can pass on any of the questions. You don't have to answer them. If you had a wig, what would your favorite wig color be? I just kind of pulled from everywhere on these.
I want like a rainbow wig, like something I'd like never actually be able to do with my hair. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
When you put on a bra, do you clasp it in the front and spin it around like a normal human being, or do you clasp it in back like someone with supernatural arms or Chelsea?
Such a bitch.
I clasp it in the front.
Yeah, that's the way.
I'm the only one. I'm literally the only one since the history of the show to put my bra on in the back.
I really need to like go back and like tabulate these so I can say with certainty, but I'm pretty sure like 2 other people.
Oh, thank God.
I think
okay.
1 queen and 1 woman, but it's rare. That's not how people do it. How high, Heather, is too high for high heels?
I don't heel well, so anything over like an inch is too much for me. So
okay.
I don't heel well.
Well, what about other people? Do you have any judgment for their heels?
So here's the thing. I know too much about the human body and how bad heels are for you. So I respect anybody that can walk in whatever height, stilettos, wedges, whatever. I respect you. Your knees and your back, I feel horrible for.
So like 6-inch stripper heels, not good?
No.
Okay, good to
No,
know.
but I mean, you keep me in business, so go ahead.
So you're not a comic, but if you were and you were performing, what would your walk-up song be?
I have never thought of that.
Really? You've never? Are you joking?
Thanks about walk-up songs for us.
Yeah, I always have fun with theirs.
Okay, well, what should theirs be?
I mean, it depends. I think it's always fun. Miles used to walk up to "What's Your Fantasy" by Ludacris, and he would go up and he would just start the first verse and then like have him drop the music. So I've always found that entertaining when he goes up and just like drops a verse and then
I've seen him do the same thing with Mac Dre, and that brings such joy into my life because he's this skinny white boy, and it's just like it's perfect, spot on. So
and then for Chelsea, it's like if I don't hear lip gloss when she walks up, I just get sad. So
that's a great one for her. Do you have one for me, like off the top of your head?
Toxic.
I mean, with your look going on right now, I was gonna say Under the Sea, but Toxic works too.
Oh yeah, no, we have a whole thing where we're gonna read. Actually, Miles was there, so you're probably watching. We're going to remake it, where the sea witch is actually the hero of the story, and the awful white mermaid girl comes and steals the voice of the sea witch. So yeah, that's
I'm intrigued.
That's the story Chelsea and I are gonna tell. Okay, what is your favorite recurring show to see, comedy-wise?
Oh, jeez. I mean, I miss Chelsea's show in First Street.
Oh, that's a good show.
So, I mean, I always love those. I like the small, intimate shows, I mean, I'm not performing. I enjoy them. They're more fun. The energy's better. With Miles and Chelsea, they talk to people, so it's better. I've seen some of the most entertaining shit at small shows. You know, everybody has fun. I think my first year with Miles, we were at this restaurant, and this guy fell asleep, and Miles drew a dick with permanent marker on the back of the guy's head. And it was like, I don't know, 30, 40 people there, maybe. And nobody woke him up because everybody thought it was funny and wanted to be a part of it. You can't do that at big shows. I mean, you could, but it's crowded.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work as well. I also, like, I'm not at their level at all, but I like lights up. I like lights on. I want to see everybody. And I like the smaller, more like, I love performing here at Stab when, you know, non-pandemic times, when there's people out there. And I can see everybody, and the laughter's right on top of me. I think that's so cool. So, and yeah, that First Street show is a great show.
Love it.
What's your favorite venue to see a show in? I think you kind of just answered it, but.
I mean, like, if it's not First Street, which right now it can't be, and I don't think it will be. So, I would say either Laughs Unlimited or Sack Punchline. Sack Punch, I've always had, you know, a good time. The staff's always been great. The lineups are always great. So yeah, I would probably say one of those.
Okay. This one works for you actually, because audience members do come talk to you. What's the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Man, I can think of more stupid things than funny things.
That works. We take that answer.
Don't hold back.
Yeah. What's the stupidest thing anyone's ever said to you?
I guess it's a stupid, funny thing. Sure. So if y'all don't know, my husband's belly button's kind of high. That's a thing. And a woman came up to me after a show, and she's like, "Is his belly button distracting during sex?" And I was like,
how high is it? That may, like, what? Why would that be?
Well, my question more was like, how bad is the sex you're having that a belly button can distract you?
That's why I'm asking. Like, if his belly button is, like, I don't know where his clavicles are, that would be distracting. But, good answer. How bad is her sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't like that response. There was one. We were at the Throckmorton in Mill Valley.
Good show. Good venue.
And Miles did his set, and he talked about me on stage. I think I was just, sometimes you don't want to talk to people, and it was one of those days. And this guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Are you his wife?" And we were like holding hands or something. And I was like, "No." And I just watched him get super awkward. So that was fun. I like just pretending to be a mistress. It's fun.
That's also a great place to see a show, and they have good cookies. Who is your favorite comic?
Chelsea Bearce.
I mean,
Good
you
answer. Good answer.
Thanks. You know, I have obscure ones, you know, because you have all the big name ones. So, you know, I love Eliza. I think Eliza's freaking hysterical. So, but all mine, there was, I think we were at Big Pine. And there was a guy named Brandon Vestal. I'm butchering it probably. But I actually had Chelsea watch his dry bar, and I saw his set, and he was hysterical. So him, a guy that was in the SF comedy competition with Miles, Pat Berger. So I don't know. I like enjoying the ones that not a lot of people know about, but they should.
Okay. This one's interesting because of your profession. So I won't say what's your favorite sexual position or sex position, but what's maybe a good one from a health standpoint?
I mean,
all of them probably.
Yeah, I mean all of them, but I mean, like, whoever's on top is getting the core work. So I mean, I don't know, whoever didn't work out that day.
I like
Put
that.
more work in. I don't know.
I like a good core workout. So okay, good to know.
I I've had that thought before. I'm like, I didn't work out hard enough today, so
Look, I just found a new workout. What is your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
Mimosas.
Yes, they're so good.
I'm allergic to eggs, so I mean, mimosas.
Yeah, no eggs, mimosas. I will remember that and make sure if you ever come to my brunch, no one brings an egg around you. Do you cook or bake?
Cooking is what I'm doing right now for work primarily.
Okay.
So yes, I do nutrition for people and help them lose weight. And so I literally cook every meal for them that day and have it down to the T of what the calories are.
So that's kind of cooking in a more baking approach, wouldn't you say?
Like measuring?
You measuring and following
Yeah.
like a precise recipe.
Yeah. I can't bake to save my life.
Well,
but
I mean,
can cook.
you're baking food. You're just not baking desserts.
Mm-hmm.
DC or Marvel?
DC comic books, Marvel movies.
Okay. If we're at the bar after a show and someone's buying us shots, what are we shooting?
Jameson.
Good answer. Someone's buying us drinks, what are we drinking?
I like vodka clubs or just Jameson as it is. I'll do Jameson and ginger beer, but Jameson as is cool.
What kind of vodka?
Tito's. I like Tito's.
Okay. At least it's not well. I hate when people say well. It makes me cringe. Okay, most important question. Toilet paper over or under?
Over.
Yes, thank you. Okay, good.
I'll leave somebody's house if it's the other way.
Chelsea would.
Or I'll look for something wrong with them during our conversations. And then the second I find something, I latch onto the toilet paper thing. I'm like, see?
Chelsea, is that a deal breaker for you with dating?
For me?
Yeah. For like dating.
No, that's not a deal breaker for me. No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No.
The pizza they eat, how many pieces is, but the toilet paper.
You know what is a deal break? I'll go back to the pizza thing. The pizza thing, okay, because I'm a big advocate of pineapple on pizza. It's my favorite topping on the planet. Like I'm one of those who's like, can I have pineapple, please? And then when you think you've done enough, do 2 more of those. Like I want all the pineapple on the planet to be on my pizza. But here's my thing with people and food. What is a deal breaker is if you are not a pineapple on pizza person, don't make a face like you think it's the grossest thing on the planet because I'm eating it, because I'm still eating it. Like you don't have to be rude. If you don't like it, that's fine, but that's your prerogative. You don't have to be rude and be like, ew, because I'm still a goddamn person. Like, you know what I mean?
Also,
like people who do that drive me absolutely insane.
Well, you're an adult, so you don't need someone to go, ew, when it comes to food. Like, just don't eat it. How about that? You order what you want.
Imagine if we all liked the same foods, like how bad grocery shopping would be. Like it'd be like the toilet paper thing right now.
But bringing it back to toilet paper, that would be a deal breaker for me. I can't believe that wouldn't for you if you say you're nitpicky, because that's like, I'm with Heather. Like, what's wrong with that person?
You know what I found fascinating?
I would probably not even think twice about it because it's one of those things like pick your battles. I would change it in the bathroom if I saw it. I would change it and just move on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, what I thought was fascinating is we watched Steph Garcia on here a couple weeks ago, and you asked her that, and she said it didn't matter. I was like, you have to have a stance. I don't know that I've met a lot of people that don't have a stance on that.
I think her and I think Jimmy Earl too. I've had a couple people say it doesn't matter, and I'm always like, I thought I did, and I love Steph, I really do, but like I thought I didn't like when people said under, but I found out that I truly can't handle it when people say they don't have a stance. I'm like, what do you mean? What sort of chaotic monster are you? Okay. Do you have a favorite drag queen?
I don't because we didn't get to go to a lot of them when we lived in Sacramento because I was busy working and going to school. So I haven't gone to as many shows as I'd like to go to.
That's okay.
I do not.
I'll just have to do a better job as your friend of introducing you to drag queens to see So that's my fault. I'm gonna say you probably don't have a favorite drag king then either. Okay, that'd be weird if you were.
I've seen
do.
less of those.
There are less.
It'd be weird. It'd be weird if I did, though, right?
Right. If you were like,
Yeah.
I've never seen a drag queen, but here's my list of drag kings. I would be like, wow, where are you seeing shows? Well, you're in Vegas. I mean, not right now. You're in the Eastern time zone, but you're in Vegas now, residing there. So, I'll have to recommend some.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've wanted to go to, I think Senor Frogs has a lot of those. And I was like,
Really?
I've always wanted to go to those, and then just hasn't worked out because COVID.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when this is over, I'm going to book Chelsea in one of my shows, and my shows I like to have comedians and drag queens, so you'll have to come to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think I'm pretty?
Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Oh my lord. Oh my God.
I had to retire the other question because you, Chelsea. Let me ask that one. Okay. Last question, Heather. When all of this is over and there's a new normal, old normal, normal, whatever, what's the thing you're most excited to do in the world?
I just miss shows. I miss concerts. We go to a lot of raves, so I miss that. Hugs are nice. I like hugs. So just being around people, live entertainment in any form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I got. Thank you both so much for being here on Valentine's and hanging out with me so I wasn't quite so lonely. I appreciate it. And I hope people watched and got something out of our discussion because I think you guys had some really excellent things you said.
My thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. This was
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah, I think so
Happy
too.
Valentine's Day, you
Happy
tragic
Valentine's
little drag queen, you.
I mean, I do my best. When can people see you next, Chelsea?
Oh, I don't know. What day is it? Oh,
Oh,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
My game show's on. Tomorrow, Who Wrote This Shit is live on Twitch. Here on Twitch, you can follow it at WWTS_live, or you can see it live on Facebook or YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Okay.
Mhm. It's
So-
the Valentine's Day show. What?
So everyone should tune into that, and everyone should root on Heather as she's baking someone's food to the precise degree of ingredient.
Thanks.
But
Yeah.
Heather has an Instagram that you should follow.
Oh, absolutely. It's
I
been
do,
displayed
and
all
my,
night.
Fitness page bodies_by_Heather.
And okay, so people should go there and follow that. And maybe we'll do this again. Thank you both so much, and have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Okay, love you both.
Love you.
you.
Bye. Happy
Bye.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. All right, viewers, that was the relationship advice special episode with Heather Weber and Chelsea Bearce. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If we do it again, please ask some questions so we can talk about them and get your questions answered. That's it for the show. We'll be back next week on the 21st at 5:03 because that's how we do. Thank you to Jesse and Stab, to Clifton, to Chelsea, and Heather, and to Miles for letting us cut in on his Valentine's date. Other than that, have a good night and see you next week.
The sea